What's up, guys? I'm here with my buddy Ethan. Ethan, introduce yourself.
Hello, I am Maximus Decimus Meridius.
What did he say?
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North.
Yeah, I'm Ethan, and this is my 1991 S13, the 1J.
Cool. How long did you buy it?
Had the car a little over a year now. I spent most of 2023 putting it together. Actually, no, it's 2 years almost now. But bought it in April of 2023. It was a roller, spare chassis, except for like suspension and bodywork and stuff. And then did the whole drive line and so on and so forth.
What'd you pick it up off of?
My buddy Jason.
Cool.
Yeah.
And how long did he own it for?
Probably 2 years also.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
when he had it, it was a 2J with a dog box.
I remember that. And what's the history on this car?
So this car has a lot of history. It was originally built by a guy named Vitaly Sopkins. I think he was out of Arizona. Could be a mistake. Might have been Vegas. But it was built probably around like 2013 is when the chassis was built. And back then it had a 2J with a CD trans, and it was V-mounted instead of rear radiator. It was also green, and it was on the cover of Super Street, which is cool. I'll have you put a picture up of that.
Was he a pro driver, or was he?
I think Pro-Am.
Pro-Am.
Yeah.
Okay.
He might have done. I don't think he was FD, but I think he was Pro-Am.
And he did a lot of the fab work that's currently on the car right now, right?
Yeah. So pretty much all the tube work. So, like the tube front, he did. I think just this section of the tube front might have been done by someone else. The cage was done by him. The rear, or the tube rear, was done by him. The rear radiator was done by Dylan Hughes, or no, it was done by Alex Hilbrun, and then redone by Dylan Hughes. Yeah.
Got some history for sure.
Yeah, a lot of history. So after Vitaly had it, he sold it in probably, I don't know what year he sold it to Alex, but Alex Hilbrun, he was FD driver for a while in the States, and he had this car. He actually got his license in this car, I believe. And he had it for a few years, beat the shit out of it, and then sold it to Jason. And then from Jason it went to me.
So Jason beat the shit out of it. Now it's your turn beating the shit out of it.
Yeah, yeah.
What powertrain you got in it?
So it's a unopened 1JZ VVTi out of a JZX 110. I bought it straight from an importer. Didn't touch it. Only thing I did was valve cover seals and a couple other small gaskets, but I never pulled the head off of it.
Okay. Some basic maintenance.
Yeah, I pretty much simplified it through the turbo stuff on it, or aftermarket turbo stuff on it, and put it in the car.
What turbo setup do you have on it?
So it's a G3660 G Series Garrett with a Artec manifold, and then Turbo Smart wastegate.
Fancy. And you did all the fab work on the exhaust, right?
Yeah, pretty much everything from intercooler piping to the downpipe. The exhaust came with the car, for the mid pipe that goes out the side. I do want to redo that in the near future, make it look a little nicer, put a better bevel on it, make it, just a little cleaner.
You did this pipe as well?
Yeah, I did that.
Damn, these are huge.
Yeah, dash 16. So it doesn't have a water pump. It has the Rad Industries water pump delete, and it has the electric water pump in the rear. It's a really nice piece. I'll bill it. Gives you a bunch of auxiliary stuff for your. You can run, like, my turbo feed is ran off of this. Water temps ran off of this for the upper neck.
Super damper in there?
Yeah, super damper, and then it has the alternator. I believe that's stock location for the alternator. I don't remember, honestly.
There's
But
also another rad piece for
yeah,
car
so
shit.
that's the Rad Industries Bosch Motorsport pump kit. Relocates it down to the bottom. You have to run a second pulley on your crank pulley. So you have 2 belts. Pretty good setup. Never had any issues. A lot of people have issues with JZs and power steering with drift cars, but I've never really had any problems with it. Only issue I do have is with the reservoir. It needs baffles.
Okay.
So it'll spew out fluid every once in a while, but other than that, it's pretty good.
Okay. How much power did it make?
Made 524 and 479 at 21 psi.
Spicy.
Yeah.
Spicy. Has been staying pretty cool.
Yeah. The coolant temps are great because of the rear radiator. I've never seen it get above 195. IATs get a little hot. I could use a bigger intercooler. It's got a 3.5-inch core treadstone intercooler. Could use a 4-inch, same size, but just 4-inch core. I actually, we can pull this off. I made a little Band-Aid for the IATs. I just hooked up some garden sprayers to a universal windshield washer reservoir. You can see it back here. Works pretty good. It was like $20 total on Amazon for everything.
20 bucks.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, the highest I saw the IATs get was like 170 after a lap at ABS when it was pretty hot out. So then the time after that, I tested them out and it got up to like 160. Then I flipped on the sprayers and it dropped like 10 degrees. So okay. It works pretty good.
Cool. What are you running for fuel?
Straight E85. Straight out of the pump.
baby.
Yep.
Cool.
Yep.
And what fuel system? Like what injectors, fuel rail?
So
yada yada.
Regulator is radium. Fuel rail is radium. Injector Dynamics 1050X injectors. And then it's got a few, it's got 2 pumps. It's got a lift pump, some kind of Walbro and Holley setup. They came with the car, so I just reused them. They're loud as shit, so I know they flow a lot of fuel. But this is the lift pump for the surge tank, and then that's the pump that feeds the rail.
What radiators back here?
I believe it's a CSF.
Yep.
Yeah, CSF.
Mishimoto fans.
Yeah, Mishimoto race fans. So that was done by Dylan Hughes. He did the shroud and he did the ducting and stuff. Came out super nice.
Who's this guy?
That's the Mazai, I think. You're gonna have to look that up and double check. I always forget what it's called. It's like, it starts with an M. That's the water pump.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that thing flows like 50 gallons per minute.
Damn.
Which is insane. That's why this thing takes 30 minutes to warm up.
But how many laps can you do at, for example, Apple Valley Speedway? It's like a minute-long lap. How many laps can you do before you got to cool it down?
With the IATs, I can probably do 2 laps.
Okay.
But I don't usually like to do more than 1 lap.
Because of the tires.
Just because of tires, yeah. This thing, if I let it eat in third, the tires get so hot and it'll it really kills the life of your tires if you just overheat them and keep running them.
For sure.
So I
get
like to
that.
do like one lap and then just do a cool down lap. But it could keep going if I forced it to.
What suspension setup are you on, front and rear?
Feel 441s, coilovers, best coilovers in the game.
Yep, they are. I
And
agree.
then Wisefab V1.
What on the rear?
Rear's kind of a hodgepodge of stuff. Got some adjustable arms, and then it has FDF lowers. The chrome arms, I'm not sure what they are. They came with the car. And then I put the FDF lowers on to help with my CV geometry. I was blowing axles because under squat, it would kind of compress the CVs and destroy them.
Yeah. What rear end's in this thing?
It's got a Z33 diff and a Z34 trans. So a 370Z trans and then 350Z diff.
You use the Z axles, right?
Yeah, Z axles, Z diff, custom drive shaft, and then a Nismo 370 trans.
What about, you got anything done to the brakes?
It's got Z32 brakes. So Z32 dual caliper rear. Also has a drop knuckle in the rear. Oh, and it's also running a S14 rear subframe.
Okay.
And then front's also Z32 brakes.
What wheels you got on this thing, and what's the fit? What's the offset?
So fronts are, well, they're SSR Vienna Courages, 3-piece. Fronts are a 8.5, 18 by 8.5 plus 25, and then the rears are a 18 by 10.5 plus 12.
Okay. What tires setup do you like running? Both front and rear, like tread wear, tire?
My favorite are the Valinos, the 100 tread wear for the front.
Okay.
Unlimited grip. You'll never understeer. I mean, you can if you really tried, but I've never had any issues on like big flick entries or anything like that. The rear kind of depends. I usually like to stick around with 300 tread wear just to kind of save the drive line a little bit. Right now it's got the Acceleras, the 651s. Those are pretty good. They're rated at a 200 tread wear, but they feel like a 300. And
Nice.
It's a 255, 35.
Okay. And what's the ECU? What's the ECU management in this thing?
So it's a Link G4X Fury. Super good ECU. All my high-level drift friends recommend them, so that's what I went with. I wanted to do the Link Dash as well, but the time that I was building this thing, I was impatient. I couldn't get one, so I did the AEM.
Okay.
AEM's also, it's just as good. Does
Yeah,
everything
sure.
I need it to do.
Hold fast wheel.
Yeah, my boy Micah.
What hydro's in it?
That's the Chris Forsberg one, I think. It came with the car. I was gonna change it out because I don't like the handle at the top too much with that little nub, but I grew to like it, so I think it'll stay in the car.
And what trans and shifters in this thing?
It's a Nismo 370Z trans.
Fancy.
Actually, you'd think that it'd be expensive, but I got it for a pretty good deal. It was like $1,300, which is not far off from a normal CD.
Yeah, no, it's not.
And it was low miles. But it's got the Serial 9 CD shifter. That shifter's great. I can power shift into third, mid drift, no issues, never missed a gear.
Nice.
It's badass. Every time I missed a gear, it was because of my fuck up. But
And you said a Serial 9 shifter?
yeah, Serial 9 shifter. It's really good. Nice and short.
What clutch are you running in this thing?
This thing has a Tilton 7.25 twin disc. Best clutches in the market.
Some bride seats there, some real ones.
Yeah, those came with the car too, luckily.
Luckily. Little yellow top in there. You built the chassis harness?
No, so it came with the chassis harness, but I did buy a wiring specialties harness for the engine harness.
Okay.
Worked pretty good, but it's kind of universal, so there's a lot of extra wire. I'll probably end up redoing it in the future.
Tell me what you did on this lace on this screamer pipe over here. How'd you do that?
So two of my buddies at work have a little laser etching business. They do custom laser etchings on small things like water bottles and whatnot. And I asked them if they could laser etch my wastegate dump tube. They said sure.
Badass.
So came out pretty cool.
No switch.
Yeah.
What adapter plate are you running?
PMC.
Okay.
So a lot of people do the fish.
Yeah.
They're good, and I was going to do that, but I don't plan on keeping a CD trans in this car forever, and I didn't want to try to sell a chopped up CD. So I figured I'd just run this for now
That makes sense.
and be able to sell the trans later.
So you don't have to cut the bell housing on this?
No, you just bolt it right up.
Nice.
It is.
Oh yeah.
It's a good kit, but it has its, it could use some improvements. We had to drill some holes and add dowels to align it properly with the clutch.
Okay.
But other than that, once we got that figured out, it was pretty good. Popped right in.
And about oil coolers are these, and what are they for?
So this is power steering, and then this is oil. Jay-Z's like to cook oil.
Yeah.
So I run 2050 VR1 in this thing, and honestly, that's probably what's keeping the stock 1J alive at that power. That's how I beat on it. But it's a huge oil cooler. I think it's like a 30 row.
It looks huge.
Still gets hot, even
Really?
with the fan. Yeah.
What oil temps are you seeing?
Like 220s ish.
Okay.
Any hotter than that,
Cool it down.
I think it has a safety on the ECU for anything past 250. It'll throw a warning up on the dash.
And who tuned the car?
Danny G at Unrivaled Tuning.
Nice.
Super good tuner. Spent all day tuning this thing.
Yeah. Tell me about the stickers you got on this thing. Are you an Uber driver?
Shit, if you want me to be. Give me a good review. But these are the boys at Terra. They always hook me up with stuff.
Cover the ParkFest stickers.
Well, I'm not going to take them off. That's actually kind of funny because my first drift car was a Miata. And me and Isaiah, we were driving ParkFest together.
Yep, 2019.
Yeah. And this car, when Jason owned it, he went to ParkFest with us. So,
2020.
yeah, so I was driving ParkFest in my Miata while this car was driving same time with Jason.
Yeah. Always
cool.
been a fan of the car. It was a little interesting color, but it was definitely a cool car still.
Yeah. Yeah, this car is definitely this car is what kind of fueled my love for S chassis. Back in the day, when I was still in high school, I saw Alex with this car and I always wanted to build something similar. So the opportunity came up to buy it and I couldn't pass it up.
Stupid deal.
Yeah,
it was a crazy
damn good deal. So couldn't pass it up. And for the amount of money it would cost to build something like this, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Shout out Cam Art. He has some sick ass shit.
The homie.
Go
check out his Instagram. Shit. Does some of the best videography in the game for sure.
He kills it for sure.
These are the Crash Style boys. Some of the best drift events you'll ever go to. PC Garage. They changed all my tires. Those are the homies right there. They hook it up.
Well, what are your future plans with the car?
Eventually, 3-liter bottom end and a dog box. Probably make it more competition friendly if I do want to go that route.
That'd be cool. When are you thinking about doing that?
Whenever the bottom end goes on this. We'll see.
This side's all screwed up. You put these plates in, or were they already in?
I did add those. I thought they looked cool, so. And because the floor gets really hot from the exhaust, I didn't want to burn people's feet.
Yeah.
Or melt their shoes.
Comes up right from there.
Yeah, comes straight through the floor.
It's enclosed and wrapped with some gold heat tape, but it still gets a little spicy in there. A little bit. It's not too bad.
I've heard it's actually not that bad.
It's not that bad. No, I told you it's not too bad, actually. Well, cool. Hell yeah. Is there anything else that I missed on the car you want to talk about? Anything special? Anything fancy? Any quirks? Anything cool? You let me know.
I guess it's got obviously it has a S14 front end,
Yep.
which is one of the big things that I love about this car.
S13 coupe with an S14 front end.
Yeah, my favorite front end
Cokey,
with my
kooky.
favorite rear end of the S chassis, other than S15, of course. But it works well on a coupe.
It looks super good for sure.
It could use a little bit better fitment. I was talking to someone. They said that you can trim the hood down and suck the fenders in more to fix this gap. I might do that when I do a refresh. Gonna be getting a refresh this January.
What are you gonna be doing to it?
Repainting the kit. It's all fucked up.
What kind of kit does that have?
So it's fine line front clip, fenders, hood, bumper, and then the skirts. It's got some custom 11s, 80 mil rear over fenders. I don't even think you can get these anymore, so I want to keep them as long as I can. Rear bumper, I honestly have no idea what it is. It's not on the car, obviously, but I ripped the mounts off of it a few months ago.
How long have you wanted to own an S chassis for?
Ever since I bought my Miata, and I regretted buying a Miata and not an S chassis.
But hey, what was the reason why we bought Miatas? What was the reason?
Because we all had them.
But also,
and they're cheap.
Yeah, exactly. How much did we all buy them for?
I bought my Miata for $1,300.
Yep. Yeah. We had a couple of them. There was like 4 of us. We each bought them for $1,200 to $1,400. Every single one of them was within that price range.
Only one with the first Miata.
Yep. And sitting in the driveway. I'm on my 7th Miata or some shit. For sure. I mean, I've had an S chassis and I want another one day, but this thing's cool. Ethan's always wanted an S chassis. I've known Ethan for about 13 years now, since I was about 13 years old. We met from scootering and from one of our other buddies, Hayden. So yeah, we've known each other for quite some time. But
even your best man at your wedding.
He was also my best man at my wedding. That was a lot of fun. That was a couple months ago, but yep.
Some good partying.
Good partying for sure. There's some fun that we had out there. But yeah, Ethan's definitely wanted an S chassis for a very long time. He's always talked about him, along with a couple other cars, but definitely one of these things for sure. So it's cool to see that he finally has one, and that it's so fucking badass too.
Might be for sale soon.
Might be for sale. For how much?
I don't know.
Don't have a price on it yet?
I have a price, but I don't want to say it yet.
Well, if you guys,
it doesn't look like the price that I'm thinking of right now.
Well, if you guys are interested, is it going to be after refresh or before?
I don't know. I might keep it, or I might sell it. I posted it for sale a few months ago just to test the waters, and I got offered 30 cash.
And you declined it?
For now, yeah.
And
we'll see though.
All right. Well, if you guys are interested, if you guys got more than 30 grand cash, you want to fucking throw it at him.
Shit, cash me out. But I do love this car, and I don't want to get rid of it. I don't really have to get rid of it. It's just, I don't know. I want other things too. I tend to get bored of things fast.
I get that. If you were to sell it, what would you get?
I'd probably go buy a sand car.
All right. Sand rail?
Yeah, I've always wanted one of those.
Well, like an LS swap sand rail?
Yeah, something does wheelies.
That'd be cool. But what about a drift car? That's not a drift car.
I still have the Miata.
That's true. That is true.
Actually, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, tell me about it.
The whole power brakes, all that, damper and all that, it's all out of a Pathfinder, Nissan Pathfinder, which is kind of cool.
And why is that? Like, why'd you do that?
I think it's just an upgrade. More volume kind of probably helps with the Z32 brakes. I haven't really looked into why people do it, but I saw that they did that.
Probably also the vacuum that the JZ creates from the turbo, right?
Probably. So, well, it has the check valve, so that's helps. For that. Yeah. I'm not really too big of an S chassis guy. It's my first one. Don't really know all the little secrets, but
nitty gritty.
Yeah.
How long roughly did it take you to put the drivetrain in?
It was actually pretty quick. I had the car. It was from a roller to a running and driving car in probably 8 months.
Nice.
So not too long.
8 months and a lot of money later, right?
Yeah. Kind of money later.
That's how it goes with these things.
Yeah. Not too bad though. I got it tuned this February.
Been running strong.
Yeah, it's been running strong all year. Zero issues with the tune. Zero issues with the engine at all, really. Only small issue I had when I got it running was the valve cover seals were leaking.
I remember that a little bit.
Yeah, they were dumping oil out the back every time I'd get in a boost.
Anything else you want to talk about on the car?
I'll probably shout out this guy right here. My boy Nico.
Nico.
Yeah, if you want to get one of these tattoos, this is his signature.
Or any tats, right?
Yeah, he's super good.
Tattoo artist.
I don't have any tattoos yet, but if I do get one, and when I do get one, he's gonna be the one that does it.
He's up in NorCal?
No, he's in LA. Actually, he was in LA. He's kind of all over the place.
Okay.
I think he's still living in LA though.
Well, shout out Nico.
Yeah, the Terra guys. These guys hook it up with a bunch of merch all the time. Super cool dudes. They're getting into the drift scene, which is sweet.
They always hold some badass events too.
Yeah. That was from the Speed Metal event. It was cool. It was all like pre-runners and Harley shows and drifting. It was pretty fun.
And then you just attended one of their events yesterday?
Well, it wasn't their event, but it was the King Shocks toy drive, and this car was in their booth.
Nice.
Which was cool. Hanging out with all the whoop eaters.
Yep. I'll put up a picture of that later.
Yep.
That's cool. Well, we're going to go take this thing for a couple rips around the block. Nothing too crazy, but we will throw up some videos of him drifting this thing. It definitely gets down, burns up some tires, so we'll throw up some of those videos for sure, but let's go take it for a spin.
Hell yeah.
As soon as you get to the front of the engine bay, you can't hear shit.
That's the other thing about JZ's is you can put a glass of wine right there and it won't spill.
So damn smooth.
Literally nothing. Put your hand on that. No vibration.
It's really smooth. It's super quiet up front too.
Yeah. Runs perfect.
JZ baby, right?
Only way to go.
What are you simpletons doing?
Yeah, I gotta give you some of those.
I have some.
I'll give you some more.
Yeah.
I got a stack of like 200.
Drift cars be loud inside, huh?
Very loud. Everything's solid mounted. That's another thing. I made the trans mount for this. The diff is solid mounted. Engine solid mounted. I made the motor mounts. Actually, motor mounts were a weld it yourself kit, but I welded them.
Nice.
So.
I love the smell of E.
Yeah, you get it a lot in this car, especially with the exhaust being right next to your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the Garrett R-Tech combo, it hits full boost at like 3,200, 3,500 RPM.
Hell yeah.
Super torquey low on the low end. Power band is amazing in this car. It'll light up the tires like nothing.
Pulls all the way through.
Yeah. That's the thing is like with small turbos, usually it's a trade-off where you'll have good low end or really good high end, or really good top end or really good low end. And the nice thing about the G Series turbos, they're probably the most efficient turbos on the market. So it'll give you a really good balance of high and low end. This thing pulls all the way to 7,200 RPM and it pulls the whole way.
That what is the rev limiter set to? 72?
72, yeah, stock limiter. With JZs, it's better to keep them at stock limiter unless you build the head. They don't really make much more power unless you have cams and build a head and all the valve train stuff to go along with it.
That's just a lot more money.
Yeah, and the bottom end don't really like it when you spin them over 8,000. So, especially with the stock bottom end.
Fucking ripped up pretty good.
If you roll onto it, it'll hold the traction for a little bit.
Yeah.
It broke loose a tiny bit, but it wasn't too bad.
Feels good.
And the Miata, I was always trying my hardest to get it to spin. In this car, I'm trying my hardest to not keep it spinning.
Right. Motherfucker. Oh shit.
Just clapping. I'll just leave it right here.
Fuck yeah. Thank you for taking me for a ride.
Oh yeah, buddy.
This was a lot of fun.
She likes it? That's funny. Got to teach him young.
You do. She's been around the loud cars since she was born, so she's good with it. Huh, mamas? Yeah. Well, that was a lot of fun. You got a better
Good
angle.
car.
The Weiss Fab right here. Well, that's going to wrap up the video. But thank you, Ethan, for taking the time out of your day to show us the car. I appreciate it.
Anytime.
And you want to plug your Instagram real quick?
Yeah, it's just Ethan Ugalde, ETHAN with 2 E's.
TikTok, YouTube, anything like that? Do you have
TikTok is Ethan Who,
okay.
2 O's.
YouTube right now or no?
Not
Not
really.
Okay. All right.
I post shorts every once in a while, but nothing crazy.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys for watching. If you guys have any questions, put it down in the comments, and Ethan will answer them to best of his ability, or I will.
Maybe. I'm kind of retarded, so.